Every so often I like to do what I call an issues recap, which is basically just, okay, there's a lot coming out, at least once a month there's a sort of another controversial issue to discuss, and everyone gives their opinion, oh my gosh, what have they done to the movie, is it good, is it bad, And I think it's just really good to every so often just kind of take a step back and try to look at the big picture. And so what I like to do is every few months or so, maybe 6 months I guess, just kind of say, okay, what have been the major issues, because I've always said that these movies are kind of like elections, every movie always has, what are the issues, that we're focusing on this time. So I'm just going to, I think the last one I did was just before they started shooting, and right now they're right in the middle of post-production, and actually we know that the Dawn Treader score is complete, so they're actually mixing the movie right now. So this movie is almost 2.5 months this movie comes out. It's crazy. So it was just after shooting. I'm going to go through this pretty much chronologically, just highlight some of the ones that are the most interesting to me, the bigger issues. I think it was just after shooting we found out that Trumpkin was not going to be in the movie. It was just before Prince Caspian released, I think that we found out that Peter Dinklage had said, yeah, I'm going to be in Prince Caspian. And I didn't like the idea just because I could just see it. First off, I couldn't really see a reason for him, and second, because I could just see them making so many more changes as a result. They would want to give Trumpkin something to do, and therefore would want to make some changes to give him a role, maybe an arc. So I'm really happy that him, and also Cornelius, he was going to be in the movie. Trumpkin and Cornelius have been taken out. Big sigh of relief there. And shooting began over at Cleveland Point in Australia, which was like right over there, actually, somewhere in there. But it was interesting. We got so many pictures. There was really nothing they could do to hide the ship. We got some fantastic pictures. And the Dawn Treader, of course, that was the big reveal. Of course, there wasn't like a big ta-da, here's the Dawn Treader. It was like we saw pieces of it and slowly kind of evolve before our eyes. I really liked the look of the ship. The Dragon Prow especially, though, the iconic Dragon Prow from the book. Fans were kind of divided on it. Some people loved it. A lot of people hated it. Some people weren't really sure. I was in that camp that really loved it. Now, having seen the whole ship put together, I'm very, very pleased with it. I've said a couple times, it doesn't really look how I imagined. Maybe it looks better than what I imagined. It captures what the Dawn Treader should be. It's also very gutsy. In the climate we're now in, where we want very realistic, believable, grounded stuff. This is very much in the fantasy fairy tale direction. So I think this is a really bold move. I'm really proud of the filmmakers for the design they're going with right now. Also, I got the purple sail. I had to have that, the Dragon Prow, the purple sail. They didn't shy away from any of those fantastical elements. They just went for it and say, hey, it's a fairy tale. So I really like that. So now having seen the trailer, I've seen some shots, I'm still very happy with the overall look of the Dawn Treader. The biggest issue for me, this came out, I think, shortly after shooting, because they released that press release. And the press release said, in a little synopsis, only an entirely uncharted journey to Aslan's country can they save Narnia and all the astonishing creatures in it from an unfathomable fate. Man, that started a lot of discussion. Unfathomable fate? What are they talking about? They're not trying to save Narnia from anything in the book. It's just Cassian feels a responsibility to go right the wrongs his uncle committed. This is the biggest issue for me because it misses the point of the story. Dawn Treader is a personal journey about the longing for one's true home and ultimately the joy of finding it. If the audience is getting caught up in this epic struggle to save Narnia, I think they've taken their eye off the ball. That's just a distraction, and it really takes away from Caspian's character. The ending of Prince Caspian really being about righting the wrongs, and Caspian, not because he had to, because, oh, I have to do this to save Narnia from being blown up or whatever it is, but because he felt a sense of responsibility to right the wrongs his uncle committed. So this is the biggest thing for me. Now we know it also has something to do with having to recover their 7 swords. I'm really, really uncomfortable with this. This issue could potentially make or break the movie for me. If this is a distraction, man, it's just not what Dawn Treader is about. The thing that really set this production apart, as far as for us, the fans, I think, was all the spy videos. Again, there was really nothing they could do to hide the Dawn Treader out there, so we got a lot of interesting spy videos. One of them was Eustace. Obviously, we couldn't see him; he's going to be CGI. But we know there was a dragon flying around. We know it was Eustace. We found out, and all the actors are on the ship, pointing guns at him or whatever. Is he attacking the ship? What's going on here? Why is the crew on the ship? I don't know. We also got an interesting video of Caspian and Edmund apparently having a play sword fight. Most interesting video of all, though, was a shot of this mysterious little girl, the MLG we've come to call her. We now know her name is Gale, jumping off the side of the ship. The side of the ship is damaged, and she goes, "Mommy!" and jumps in, and someone jumps in after her. And we'd seen her in little pictures before that, spy pictures, and we're kind of like, every so often somebody would say, "What's up with that girl there?" Like, I don't know. And this is where we saw this, and the discussion just exploded. Like, who the heck is this? Apparently she's going to have at least a big role in a scene, and now the more we see, the more it's like, yeah, it really looks like she's going to be in the movie quite a bit. We still don't know why she's there. My thought is they probably just have to find a way to get more female characters into it. Typical Hollywood, you got to find a way to appeal to as many people as possible, and basically Lucy's the only girl in the story for almost the entire book. So that's what I think they were thinking. I don't know how I feel about the MLG. We'll see how it works, but we just really don't know anything at this point. I think it was Ben Barnes who said that they've sort of borrowed ideas from later Narnia books and used them in this one. Of course, my first thought was, oh, Lady of the Green Kirtle, and now because she was in the lead script, and now we don't think it's going to be that. The production just said it won't be. But I'm certainly I'm all for that idea. It's an interesting part of the process of adaptation. Let's take this piece here and let's use it here. So I think that's interesting. We still not really, since it's not The Witch, we're still not totally sure what that is. But I think that's an interesting quote there. Michael Apted said, he's basically saying, Dawn Treader's not going to be an action film. Michael Apted, just a quote from him, he said, this is a lot more psychological. It's not a big action movie. There are a lot of different locations and adventures, but apart from a huge battle at the end with a sea serpent and a dragon, this is a character story. On the positive side, he's saying it's not an action movie. It's more of an adventure story. Good. But a battle at the end, what? Like, if you have a battle at the end, Dawn Treader has an emotional climax, not an action climax. A big action climax to save Narnia from whatever. Just a distraction. It comes back to that whole Unfathomable Fate thing. Like, that's not what it's about. And also, wait, is he saying the sea serpent is going to fight the dragon? Or is he saying there's a battle with a sea serpent at the end and there's a battle with a dragon somewhere else? There's a lot of different ways to interpret this quote. I like that he's saying it's not an action movie, but I'm just really uncomfortable with this whole idea of having to have an action climax. Dawn Treader's an emotional climax. Probably the most shocking piece of news would be Reepicheep being recast. I loved Eddie Izzard in Prince Caspian. Then he was recast as Bill Nighy. Nothing against Bill Nighy, but I was just disappointed to see Eddie Izzard wasn't going to get to finish what he started. That was really shocking. And then as if that wasn't shocking enough, sometime later, he was recast again. Now Simon Pegg's going to be playing the voice. Not sure how I feel about it. Maybe Simon Pegg will do a good job, but I'm just disappointed that Eddie Izzard won't get to finish what he started. We're still not totally sure what the reason for that casting decision was. Olden Media held a Narnia Summit. I think this is around April. There were three main things that came out of that. One is that this is really huge. That the line, Aslan saying, "There I have another name," those exact words are going to be in the movie. Huge sigh of relief. They're going to do that. That was really, really big for a lot of fans, including myself. Really, thumbs up. I talked for a great length about why that's so important. And then the undragoning, when Eustace gets changed back into a boy, I'd always wondered, they probably have to kind of do something else. I don't know if doing it the way it does in the book would necessarily work visually. It might be a little too weird. So obviously you stay true to the themes and the ideas, but and do it in a different way. And it looks like they're going to be very faithful to it. We're actually going to see skin being pulled away from Eustace, so I'm not sure how that's going to play in the film, but I guess it's good. If they can find a way to make what's in the book work, good. And the other thing was the whole Seven Swords thing, probably tied to the Unfathomable Fate, which I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. A couple weeks before the trailer came out, there was a theater stand, and it had a lot of things on it. It was kind of a weird-looking piece of marketing, and it had the White Witch on it. Freaked me out. Oh my gosh, we're back to this issue again. Now we know that it's a dream, I guess, on the Dark Island Edmund has. And they put Peter and Susan on there as well. Either way, this is whatever their roles are in the movie. We know Anna Papa will recently, so I'm just in a teeny tiny fraction of it. Doesn't surprise me at all. They're not going to have big roles. But either way, it's just really dirty marketing by Fox, I felt. I don't really like the idea of what they're doing with the White Witch. I think it's not really consistent with Edmund's character from Prince Caspian when he defeated her, and Peter and Susan. I don't know. It is just going to be a little cameo, so I'm not that concerned, but I just hope it doesn't feel like a random, they had to find a place to stick him in. And then, of course, they had the trailer, have a big 30-minute analysis on that, and then they had the 3 clips that came out recently, which you can look at my previous video to see my thoughts on that. Made me feel better at the movie. Overall, right now, I would say I'm not expecting to love Dawn Treader. The first 2 films were good, but not great. So I'm expecting Dawn Treader to be good. I'll walk out and say, yeah, thumbs up. I liked it. Nothing amazing, but I would love to be proven wrong and really have something special. I would love to have this be something special. So I've been wrong about this before. I'd love to be wrong again. Just over 2.5 months to go. I really can't believe it.